Well, hello, and I'm back. Here's another update on the van. It's been a few months. Thanks for all being so patient. I haven't stopped. I haven't given up on the project. It's still going. In the time that I've been away from YouTube, I haven't really got a lot done with the van. I've had a few sessions down here, and I've done a little bit, but not much. As you can probably see, the back end is now bolted on to the front, which is good, to say the least. Basically, I took some video before Christmas and detailed some of the things I was doing, but I never got a chance to upload that video to YouTube. So what I'll do now is run some of that video and show some of the pictures I took, just to fill you in on what's happened up until now, and after that I will then splice in some video which I will be taking shortly to show what I'm doing at the moment. So there we go. So cue old video. Hello everyone. Finally, another update from me. So this is Chris. This is my 2CV van conversion project for anyone who's new to my videos. Basically, it's been quite a while now since I made a video, but I'm still around. The project is still happening. Thanks to everyone who's been really patient with me, and thanks to everyone who's stayed subscribed. Even had a couple of new people subscribe, which is brilliant. Thank you. So anyway, let's show you what's new since the last update. So the body is bolted down on the floor permanently now. Last time I made a video, it was still detached. It was still having work done underneath. But now everything's bolted down. The underside is permanently. It's all finished underneath and sealed and finished. The right hand side of the floor, I know you can't probably see because there's not much light in here, but the right hand side down there is all it's got several coats of primer on it, and the white stuff is polyurethane seam sealer, and basically I'm just in the middle of getting the left hand side up to the same level. All of the surface rust has been cleaned up as well as I could, and I then applied, where there was pitting in the metal, I applied Furtan rust killer, just for extra protection, just to make sure that any rust left in the pits has been killed as well as possible. So that's now all washed off, and the old paint and all the metal has been sanded to help the new paint stick, and I'm about to get some etch primer on there. So that's that. What else have I been doing? Here, oh gosh, I don't think you're going to be able to see this very well, but basically the rain gutter that goes around the doors, in lots of places there was rust bubbling up behind it, and the only way to properly deal with that usually would be to cut it all out and make a new piece of gutter and weld it in. Well, with the equipment I've got available and the amount of time I've got available, it would be really hard to do that and make it look nice. So what I've decided to do is actually completely remove it, and at the moment I've only done a small amount, just so that the area near the van body, when I bolt that on, I just want everything done that I won't be able to get to later. So I've just done a small amount for now, before I bolt the back end on. But what I've done, I've completely removed it and then treated the little bit of rust that was in there and filled it and primed it. So now, I mean, obviously the primer is a little bit bumpy and rough, but once that is finished and painted, it will look like it was made that way, hopefully. Now I think I'm going to need to put something to replace, basically because of the door seals that the 2CV uses. The gutter was quite important because wind tends to push the water behind the seal and the water gets in the car. So what I'm probably going to do is find some U-section plastic or aluminium metal channel and bend it to the right shape, and then I can stick that on to work in the same way as the original drip rail or gutter, whatever you want to call it. So if I can find something that is that kind of shape that I can just bend to fit round the doors and stick it on and make it look fairly nice, then that's what I'll do, because it will certainly be a lot easier than trying to bend metal into this shape here and weld it in and make it look neat, because I did a small area on the other side which I showed in a much earlier video, and even just a short piece was really difficult to make, and then once you've made it, you've then got to curve it to fit the contour around the door. That was really difficult. So now the other thing, I've invested in some high quality primer. I was getting really fed up with the cheap zinc-based primer that you can buy from the local shops, and what I was using was this David's Zinc 182. Now it does give a nice thick coating, but it doesn't stick very well, and it's very easy to chip. You know, it's quite hard when it dries, and it chips and flakes off very easily, and that's what I was using in areas where I wanted lots of thick protection. I mean, the floors I've just used spray primer because I'm going to be putting quite a thick black coating over that later, but other pieces like you know, oh gosh, you can't even see that because there's no light, but lots of areas I used the other brush on primer, and it just wasn't doing a very good job. It goes on really lumpy, doesn't spread out very well, and it chips off very easily. So I decided to invest in this, which is a 2-part epoxy mastic, and this let's get some more light on it. There we go. And I bought this from a company called Built Hamber, which is an English company, and this particular type doesn't contain the dangerous chemicals that other 2-pack paints have, which are called isocyanates, and this means it is actually reasonably safe to use, and I'm brushing it on as well. I'm not spraying it, so I'm not breathing a lot of this in when I use it, but anyway, it does a really good job. It gives really good rust protection, and it sticks really well. So this area here I've actually painted with it, and the sill down here is all painted with it. I don't know why I'm bothering to show you that, because you can't see it anyway because there's no light. Yeah, so that's that. The only other thing worth showing you is something which, to save myself lots of trouble, I came up with a little device because I was getting fed up with how quickly the batteries in the drill were going flat, and the only other way that I could, you know, do jobs that required a drill was to use a mains powered drill running off the generator, which meant I had to run the generator all the time, which becomes a problem because of noise and whatever. Anyway, so what I decided to do, this is a 9.6 volt drill, and I thought, well, okay, let's see how it will run off a 12 volt car battery. Did a little experiment, and it was fine, coped with it very well. So what I've done is actually make a little adapter which fits inside instead of the battery. It's really simple, and it's basically just a piece of wood, the sort of length and the width of the battery, the old battery, and on the top are two metal contacts, and attached to those are the wires. So I've just got a 2-core cable that slides in just like the old battery did, and then on the other end of it, there's my battery down here. There's just that with crocodile clips to clip on, and it works really well, and it lasts for ages. The drill is a bit more powerful because I've got more voltage, so I just plug that in, and there we go. Works really well. So I just thought I'd show you that. That's saved a lot of trouble, and it made sanding this floor really quick, because on the other side I did it by hand with just sandpaper, which took ages, but I just couldn't run the generator long enough to use a power sander. It would have just made too much noise, you know, it would have used lots of petrol. So I decided to make this, and it's been a really good way to solve that little problem. Anyway, so that's just supposed to be a quick update, really. Show you that I'm still here, still getting on with it slowly. Hope everyone's well. Hope this wasn't too boring, and hopefully I'll be putting another update up soon. So bye now for yeah. So bye now, everyone, and speak to you soon. So yeah, hopefully this wasn't too boring. Just really wanted to let everyone know I'm still working on it, still getting it done, just quite slowly, as I don't get a lot of time down here doing it, but and the weather kind of dictates to me whether I can do it or not. If it's just too cold, or if it's, you know, really heavy rain, it tends to blow in through the door. So and I've also when it does rain, the roof leaks, so I've got 3 plastic things there to catch water when the roof leaks, but it's all fun. Yeah, so anyway, that's that for now. I hope everyone's well, and stay tuned for the next update, which hopefully won't be too long. And yeah, speak to you guys soon. Bye for now. Okay, so there's a bit of an update for you. Hopefully I haven't bored you to death, but I just wanted to show, you know, use some of the video I made before and show you some of the photos, just to keep you up to date, show you what's been happening. So let me show you now what I've been doing up until today, after those videos were made. You may have already seen some pictures of the work I was starting to do on the side sill on the front left hand side. Well, let's have a look at where it is today. So I don't know how well you can see. I'm going to try and keep the camera steady so I don't make everyone seasick, because I know I've done that before. Sorry about that. So basically what started out as just some rust here I've ended up having to cut a lot more metal out than I expected, but that's always the same. When you're dealing with rust, it's always so much worse than you think it's going to be. So anyway, I've also had to cut the whole bottom of the sill out, all the way up to about here. Here is the lovely stuff that I cut out. You can see there we've got the old front wing mounting stud that used to be there somewhere, but it really is. This is the bottom here, and there is so many holes. You can't see it unless you shine light through it, but it's rotten. And there is the bottom piece from further along here. Again, nice and rusty. Looked okay from the outside, except for that nasty dent, but that was caused by me when I was trying to get access to the inside earlier. Well, I say earlier, months ago. Anyway, so that's what I've cut out, and here is one of the new pieces. That's going to go just there like that, and here's one of the pieces to form the bottom. This one goes up under here, and then this one goes at the front, something like that. There's the shape of it, which, get that in focus. So it took quite some time trying to bend that in a vise, because I haven't got a sheet metal folder. You know, I haven't got any special equipment for bending metal, so I literally had to stick the edge in a vise, tap it over a bit, move it along, tap it over a bit, move it along, tap it over, and then try and do the same the other side. You know, it was really quite fiddly, but got there in the end. So there's one new piece goes there, and then this bit, which I've welded a nice stainless steel bolt through to form a new stud, and I've also put a reinforcing plate on the back, which the original sills didn't have. The bolt was just welded straight through, but every time I tightened or loosened that bolt, it always felt a little bit weak. You know, you could always feel the metal flexing, so I decided to strengthen it slightly on this one. So that's going to go up there, and then I've still got to make a new panel to finish off the bottom of this A panel here. But anyway, so that's what I'm working on at the moment. Once that's done, I've also, as I did up here, you can't see that at all because there's not enough light, but I cut the gutter, the drip rail or gutter, whatever you want to call it. I cut it off up here, and then, you know, filled the resulting hole, you know, welded where necessary, filled the little trench that was left, and then, you know, primed it, ready for the back to go on, which, as you can see, is nicely bolted on, which I'm very pleased about. It's all one piece, which is good. Don't know why I'm showing you in there, because it's just darkness. So, my great camera work. So what I've also done is I've now cut the rest of the drip channel off all the way down, because it was really rusty. I mean, it was, you know, it was falling apart, and lower down at the bottom here it wasn't even attached anymore, it was just flopping about. But it's not as simple as that. Yes, the gutter channel was rusty, but what happened is that then allowed water to get in this seam in here, the spot welded seam. Now, just to have a look in the gap, I've just pried the metal away. That's why it looks a bit strange, but I've just pried away just to see how bad the rust is in between the pieces of metal. And basically, I think at least up to here I've got to cut this whole piece off as well, just to clean up the metal behind it, and then I'm going to have to make a new piece for there. So this is going to take some time, but basically I've got to get a move on, because this garage I'm working in is going to be demolished in June if the council stick to what they say. They want to build houses here, so this whole garage block is going to become houses later this year or next year. and they've said that the garages need to be emptied by, I think, the end of June. So we're now, I don't know, where are we? March the 15th at the moment. So yeah, I've got to get a move on. So there we go. I'm about to start welding those on.